Hi, this tutorial is going to be for a knitted cast on. This is going to be a little different than a long tail cast on. You can use it in place of a long tail cast on, and you can do it with circulars like I am. You can do it with double point needles, straight needles, whatever your pattern calls for. You're not going to need a very long tail for this. You're just going to start with a slip knot, leaving yourself enough tail to weave in at the end of your project. We're going to stick that slip knot onto our left hand needle, cinch it down, and then in order to do our knitted cast on, we're doing almost essentially knit stitches, only instead of pulling off the old stitches from our left hand needle and knitting across a row, we're adding on stitches by knitting them through each other. I'll show you how to do that. So to begin, you're going to go into your slip knot stitch as if you're going to do a knit stitch. So front to back with your right needle underneath your left needle, like so. So I am through the stitch. From here, we're going to take our working yarn. We're going to loop it clockwise around our right needle. And then this loop that we've put over, we're going to be pulling through that stitch, just like a knit stitch. Now here, when you're knitting, is where you'd take your old stitch and slip it off your needle, and this would become your new stitch for your row. Here instead, what we're going to do is we're going to let this stitch become a little loose on our needle so we can manipulate our needles around the way we need to. And then with our left needle, we're going to hook this new stitch from right to left, like so, onto our left needle, and then pull that down tight. And that adds our our second stitch, our first knitted on stitch. Okay, so we'll do that again. We're going to go into our newest stitch that we've added, the one we just knitted on, front to back like a knit stitch. Wrap our yarn clockwise around the needle, pull that stitch through, and then instead of slipping off our old stitch, we're going to let this new stitch loosen, bring our left needle tip around, and hook right to left onto our left needle and pull it down tight. And you're just going to repeat this as many times as you need for your project. And when you're finished casting on your stitches, you are good to just begin knitting across your first row. Now this creates a similar cast on edge to a long tail cast on. It's very useful in projects where you have to cast on a lot of stitches and don't want to run the risk of running out of a tail for a long cast on. And it's a little gappier, as you can see. There's more space between the stitches, but the edge is very similar to a long tail cast on, and you can use this in place of any long tail cast on that you might want to do, or if you want to experiment with a new cast on, this is a really nice one to do. So again, we go in, we bring our yarn around, we pull it through, and then with our left needle, we hook it right to left onto our left needle and pull tight. And that is your knitted cast on.